guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Emma. Thank you so much for being here today. I know that I missed a couple of weeks of filming, but it was not my fault. It's a long story. I can tell you guys about it in another video, maybe a story time if you want to hear about my traumatic starting YouTube and losing footage and everything else. But for today's video, I have for you guys my brow journey and how I do my brows on an everyday basis. If you guys don't want to hear about how I got my brows to where they are now, I will leave a timestamp right here, and then you guys can just zoom ahead to that. But the reason I'm doing this and going in more into depth for you guys is because I've had a lot of people ask me how I do my brows, blah, 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 but I think they don't understand everything that's gone into it and how many years it's taken to transform them. So if you guys are interested in hearing that, go ahead and stay with me. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future content. Also like this video and leave me any comments about anything you guys would like to see in the future, story times, anything at all. So let's jump right in. Alright, so my brow journey. I will be inserting some pictures for you guys that are horrifying, so get excited for that. But basically, I have been wearing a full face of makeup to school since probably 5th grade. Do not do that, obviously, unless your parents say it's okay. However, my parents didn't care. I grew up in Austin, Texas, where anything pretty much goes. So I've been wearing makeup for a really, really long time. However, brows was not anything I ever did. Going through cosmetology school, it wasn't until I was like a senior in high school that I actually even started doing my brows. It was just something I didn't care about. I liked playing with eyeshadow and all of those kind of things and, you know, foundations, whatever. So it just wasn't anything I ever wanted to do, if we're being honest. But when I started doing them, I realized that my natural eyebrows are so straight. Yeah, so they are completely straight and honestly kind of like down set, which would be fine if my eyes were down set, but they're not. So it was just a really awkward situation, and so I started thinking I needed some kind of like a wax, right, to hold my eyebrows up. So I started using waxes and pomades and all these other things, and when I started doing my eyebrows, they turned into brick brows. Alright, so now that I have officially embarrassed myself with all of those pictures, the reason they were brick brows was because I thought I had to just keep my eyebrow where it was, right? And then just draw above it the arch I wanted, which is not true at all. I also I never drew my eyebrow down in the front. So I would start with my straight eyebrow and then extend it up. So good thing I have such a large forehead because it was all eyebrow. Then I realized it was too thick and something had to be done. So I would do my eyebrows before class in my dorm, and then I would see the little brow hairs down here and I'd be like, oh, I can just take a couple. So when they were already drawn on huge, I would start tweezing. And then every day I would take off my makeup and I noticed, oh yeah, your brow's a little thin. Yeah, it's getting a little thinner. And I just kept doing it. Like, nothing possessed me to stop, so every day for like a week I just tweezed the shit out of my eyebrows after they were done. And then one day at the end of the week, I was getting ready for whatever, took my makeup off, and to realize that it was this eyebrow first. The whole end was gone. There was like 2 hairs down here. So then I realized the next week I was like, oh, I have to arch the other one. No, bitch, you are cutting your whole eyebrow off. So this one happened a week later. So now this eyebrow, to this day, is playing catch up with the other one. So if you want to do this to yourself, do it at the same time, please. So I just kind of want you guys to know what I have gone through with my brows and the fact that it's been, you know, 4.5 years of growing my eyebrows back. And you guys will see right after this without my brows and how I achieved this look. So you'll see how where my eyebrow is and isn't. But I think that using the products I do and the way I do it, that it really, really works now. And at this point, at least, I don't look at my current pictures and cringe, whereas if I go a year or two back, I just start cringing and I want to delete everything off of the internet. So to avoid that, hopefully these tips help you. Now I'm going to show you guys how I do my eyebrows currently, how I do them every single day, my tried and trues, This is kind of way shorter of a tutorial than anything else I could probably do on my channel because it consists of 2 products. Those products are the Benefit Goof Proof Pencil in number 1 and the NYX Wonder Pencil in number 1 Light. It looks like this. And the Wonder Pencil, I don't actually know what it's meant to be used for. I know that I use it to carve out my brows after I'm done using my pencil. I also will use it to go around my lips if I have a really dark liquid lip on so that it doesn't bleed. Pretty much just something everyone needs in their makeup arsenal. So, showing you guys how I do my eyebrows now that you've seen my whole brow journey and we are here. I start and I always brush out my brows, obviously. Now, usually I do my brows before I do my eyes, so this is kind of weird for me, but it's fine, I'm living with it. Something to know about the brow pencil is that if you roll it up too high, you will snap it off. And let me tell you, whenever you're at the end of the pencil and you have only done 1 brow and then you run out of pencil, you're gonna hate yourself for like cutting that part of the pencil off. So just be careful not to roll it up too much. I like this pencil because it is really mistake proof. You have to go over the same spot multiple times, so it takes a little bit longer. However, you aren't wasting product because it's too soft, and you also aren't making a lot of mistakes, which is nice. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in and show you guys how I do my brows. I always, at least for me, because I have no ends of my eyebrows and no really in the front either, I just have straight brows. So I'm gonna take this fullest part of my brow right here and I'm gonna extend it downwards to the front of my brow. We're going to now use the end of the Goof Proof pencil and just bring it up and make that line of the line of the front of my brow. And I always do this a little bit angled, so I angle it where it comes into that line I made and a little bit away, so that then whenever I make an arch, it kind of looks like it's more natural than a straight up and down line. And once I do that, then I start mapping out the top line with my existing line, just like I did on the bottom. And as you go, you want to keep using that spoolie and flipping it around so that you make sure that you know where your real brow is. Then I'm just going to put my pencil on that bottom line and then drag it upwards to fill in that gap I just created. Then I'm going to follow that line up. And this is why I like the Goof Proof pencil most, because it allows me just to set the pencil there, push, and literally make my arch. Then I just drag it down with my natural hairs that are growing right here at the ends. And I have basically my brow mapped out now in a couple swoops just because it has that diamond shape. Then I'm going to go around that shape I just made and just kind of fill it out and make it look a little bit more natural, no harsh lines. Make sure everything is rounded off because we don't want any more square eyebrows. I did that for enough years and we're moving past it. Go back around, just make sure that underneath all of the actual hairs where you have fullness, you're concentrating there just as much as your sparse areas because you don't want there to be any tone difference. And there you have it, my brow is done. Use your spoolie when you're done. And then you're gonna set it on the front of your brow and just bring it up. So you're gonna make these look a lot more sparse than the rest of the brow because everyone's eyebrow is a little more sparse there. So you still want it to look natural, but I'm still leaving that shape that I created that obviously I do not have. Alright, so the same thing on the other brow. We're just starting in this full area, bringing that line all the way down. This brow gives me a lot more issues than my other brow does because I started arching it afterwards. This is the brow I started plucking after I realized that I'd already lost the other one's arch, or whole tail, however you want to say it. So this one is always just a little bit behind on progress to this one. So you can tell that it has a lot less hair right here in the arch because it's still growing in. And I have gotten a lot of people recently since I've worked at Ulta, and people are asking me different things about my makeup. A lot of people ask me if, I went through this whole brow transformation, did I use something to help grow my brows or anything like that? No, that's probably why it's taken, you know, 4.5 years. So I don't really have any recommendations on like rapid growth serums. I do think you should talk to your doctor though before you just start throwing chemicals all over your skin, because that's just scary to me. I've heard a lot of people talk about castor oil helping, and you putting it on there at night. You can do that apparently on your eyelashes too. That just scared me, because in my mind, if I just rub this oil on my eyebrow and it just starts growing, what if I'm asleep and I smear it on my forehead? I don't want a patch of hair on my forehead. Now, is that reasonable? No. But that's how my brain works, so that's why I didn't do it. And you know what? My eyebrows are growing back slowly but surely, so it's okay. Now we are done filling in our brows, but keep your Goop-Proof pencil near you because you will need that spoolie. Now all I have left to do is carve out my brows. Now I know a lot of girls will do their brows before all of their foundation, carve out the tops and all of that. I cannot do my brows before foundation. I've tried. It's a catastrophe. It won't happen on this channel. I'm sorry. But I take this pencil, it just sharpens up, and then I just go around the edges that I've created. That also helps make the illusion of an arch. Now, what I can tell you from experience, if you have hair here, right, you don't want to tweeze it off like I did, and then you go over it with a pencil like this, it will grab onto those hairs and it will show them. So you're going to want to use something with low wax, things like that. It's hard, especially in like flash photographies and things like that. It's just going to show that there's hair there. Now sometimes you care, sometimes you don't care. I did it for like a year, so whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm not at all telling you to cut off your eyebrows, because don't do it. At the most full part of your brow and just bring that line down. Then you're going to take that line and just go up and around following your brow bone. Now that you have that drawn, I start with my ring finger and I just pat it out. What this is going to do is it's going to warm up the product and make it easier to move, because if you go straight in with a brush, it's going to be harder to blend because there's no warmth there and it's just moving around cold, hard product. So I'm warming it up with my finger first and just tapping to blend those edges, bringing it down and even up and around that front edge that we made of our brow. Once you feel like all of that product is nice and warmed on your skin, then I take a small smudger brush. I like the Royal & Langnickel small smudger brush. And I'm not going to drag, I'm just going to tap that product around and make sure there's no harsh edges. And then this I can get really up and precise right under that line I've created of my brow. And just sharpen out and define all of those edges. Now, do I do this every single day? No. Do I do my brows every day? Absolutely. But some days, you know, are good days with the eyebrow pencil and you do perfect. Other days, I hurry and this pencil saves my entire life. So if you have a day and you're starting to learn how to do your eyebrows and you just cannot seem to get it, don't worry, just calm down. It's kind of like when you hate your eyeshadow, so then you put on like your mascara and lashes or whatever else, and then you feel better, or eyeliner. That's kind of how I feel about the Wonder Pencil. Then afterwards, I just take my spoolie again, brush up all those hairs, and make sure that that line is where I want it. Alright guys, thank you so much. If you stuck all the way through the very end of this video and you didn't just watch the tutorial, go ahead and leave a little emoji at the bottom. Which one do we want to do today?
Pizza.
The pizza emoji, because I am going to convince my boyfriend to buy me pizza tonight and it's going to be so good, and I think we're going to go out tonight.